Welcome to the With Your Juicy Self podcast, where we help you enhance your self-care and self-love routines by providing insightful conversations, expert advice, and practical tips for a healthier, happier life. Let's get juicy, shall we?
Make your self-care routine just right. Intentional actions for your well-being will define self-care. Give your life new meaning. Avoid self-sabotage. Let go of the stress with our advice. You'll feel your best. This is the rhythm of your life. With Juicy by Moncherie by your side.
Now, welcome to With Your Juicy Self podcast, where we dive into all things self-care. Now, let's get juicy. Today's episode is about understanding fear and how to harness it for your personal growth. In this episode, we're going to dive into the nature of fear, its various forms, and how it affects our lives. Fear is a natural and universal emotion, but when understood and managed effectively, it can be a powerful catalyst for personal growth. In this episode, we'll explore the different types of fear, their impact on our mental and physical health, and provide actionable strategies to harness fear as a tool for self-improvement and transformation. So let's define fear. What is fear? Fear is an emotional response triggered by a perceived threat of danger, either real or imagined. Is a natural survival mechanism that prepares our bodies to either fight or flee from the source of threat. And then there's different types of fear. The first fear being a rational fear. Fear that is based on a real, tangible threats. For example, falling from a height or being bitten by a snake. So those are the real ones, okay? And then you have the irrational ones, or phobias. Fear that is disproportionate to the actual threat, often rooted in personal experiences or cultural conditioning. Like example, you might be fear of spiders, but we're a whole adult, right? Or fear of public speaking, we're not going to die, right? But here are some examples of a person who might experience some rational fear. When encountering a wild animal, an irrational fear might manifest as anxiety before public speaking in front of an audience. Despite having rehearsed multiple times, we still nervous, y'all. Hey, nail biters. Juicy by Moncherie Cuticle Oil heals with black seed oil, nourished with grapeseed and vitamin E, and comes in 6 juicy scents like strawberry lemonade and lemon eucalyptus. Get your nails back on track. Now back to the podcast. Okay, now let's discuss some psychological and physical impacts of fear on us. So here are some physiological effects. You have that anxiety and stress. Chronic fear can lead to prolonged states of anxiety and stress, negatively impacting our mental health. So paralysis and inaction. If you have too much fear causes paralysis, preventing individuals from taking action or making decisions. That's hindering your personal growth. You're so scared that you don't even start. That's not healthy. So we have to keep that in check. For example, fear of failure might prevent you from pursuing a new career or opportunity, leading to stagnant and regret. The more you just stay fear, you almost got to be so scared that fear affects you moving forward, if you understand what I'm saying, right? And now there's some physical effects of fear. You have that fight or flight response. When faced with fear, the body releases adrenaline, increasing your heart rate, your blood pressure, and energy supplies. Or it also could affect us as long-term health issues. Chronic fear can lead to health problems such as cardiovascular issues, weakening immune functions, and digestive problems. For example, when you're public speaking, it might cause you symptoms like you might sweat, or you might shake, oh my goodness, or have a racing heart. Have you ever experienced that? Juicy by Moisture Lip Oil with Healing Black Seed Oil. Moisturize, shines, and heals with natural grapeseed and vitamin E. Try all 6 flavors like berry lemonade and orange citrus. Look like an Arabian goddess. Now back to the podcast. Now let's explore the root causes of fear. Biological basis of fear. Fear is an evolutionary mechanism designed to protect us from harm and increase our chances of survival. In our brains, the amygdala, a part of the brain, plays a key role in processing fear and triggering the body's response to perceived threats. Now there's the cultural and societal influences of fear. Societal norms and cultural expectations can shape our fears, such as a fear of reflection of not conforming to societal standards. Now you also have your personal experiences and conditionings. If you had any traumatic events, past failures, or negative experiences, can condition individuals to specific situations or outcomes. For example, a person who was criticized harshly in childhood might fear public speaking or expressing their opinion. So now let's harness the fear for our personal growth. Start by reframing fear as a motivator. Change the perspective. View fear as a signal of growth, of potential, rather than a barrier. Fear often points to areas where we have room to grow. So, for example, if you fear public speaking, consider an opportunity to improve your communication skills and build your confidence. You can also use fear to build resilience. For example, you can do the exposure theory. You can gradually expose yourself to the fear-inducing situation to build resilience and to reduce the response of fear over time. Or you can try to step out of your comfort zone. Regularly challenge yourself to face your fears and build resilience and increase your confidence. For example, you can start by speaking in small groups and gradually overcoming the fear of speaking. Or you can embrace fear in decision making. Fear is an indication of your value. Fear often arises when something is important to you. Use it as a guide to prioritize your decisions and actions. For example, if you fear launching a new business, it might indicate to how much you value entrepreneur success. Of course, you fear it, but that's not a reason to stop. Okay? It's a room for growth. Juicy by Moisture Pure Black Seed Oil has the healing power. Great for digestion, boosting immunity, soothing inflammation, you name it. Replenish your body's nutrients and feel your energy return. Now back to the podcast. Strategies to overcome fear. For example, we have mindfulness and meditation. Mindfulness involves staying present and observing thoughts without judgment, which can help manage fear by breaking the cycle of negative thinking. For example, practice deep breathing or guided meditation when feeling overwhelmed by fear. We also have cognitive behavior techniques, also known as CBT, which involves identifying and challenging negative thought patterns that contribute to fear. For example, replacing thoughts like, I can't handle this, with thoughts like, I can learn to manage this fear effectively. See how that works? Also, you can have goal setting and visualization. If you set small goals, manageable goals, to confront fears and gradually visualizing the success of them to build your confidence. For example, visualizing a successful presentation to reduce the fear of speaking. Or you might try just seeking support. You can either go to therapy and counseling. Working with a mental health professional can provide tools and strategies to manage and overcome fear. Or you can also go to support groups and communities. Engaging with support groups or communities facing similar fears can provide encouragement and shared experiences. For example, join a public speaking group like the Toastmasters to overcome the fear of speaking in public. Give your skin the juicy love it deserves with Juicy by Mon Cherie Body Oil, Healing Black Seed Oil, Nourishing Olive Oil, and 7 delicious scents like Orange Honey and Serenity Spa. Hurry for morning and night, coming soon from cart to home. Now back to the podcast. So let me give you some exercises that you can use personally so you can overcome these fears. Here's a journaling exercise that you could do. You can write about your fears that you want to overcome, and you can write steps by steps that you can take to face it. So just go ahead and write it out. Or you can do this ladder exercise. You create a ladder with steps, and you rank it from least to the most frightening aspects of what the fear and tackle it one step at a time. Or we can do this gratitude practice. You can reflect on some moments when fear has led to positive outcomes. And use it as a personal growth technique. You know, we all have those examples. Or you can use daily affirmations. Incorporate some positive affirmations into your daily routine to build courage and confidence. For example, I am capable of facing my fears and growing from them. So as you can see, it's important to understand fear and how you can use it to harness your personal growth. I like to challenge you to identify a fear that you want to overcome and take just one step this week to confront it. I also like you to tell us about your progress and maybe your fear in the comments. I also like to invite you to join our community where you get behind the scenes footage and a community that supports one another. So remember, stay juicy, stay brave, and take care of your juicy self.
Make your self-care routine just right. Intentional actions for your well-being will define self-care, give your life new meaning. Avoid self-sabotage. Let go of the stress with our advice. You'll feel your best. This is the rhythm of your life with Juicy by Mon Cherie by your side.